Hello everybody, good morning. Today we're going to write a thesis for Sonnet 73, and that's what we'll be doing all period. The learning goal: analyze Sonnet 73 by William Shakespeare, write a thesis statement, and create an outline. And the reason that we are doing this is because you said you're having difficulties getting started on your essay. Okay? So what is a thesis? Does anybody have any ideas? Well, exactly. You bother to read this. Thesis is the main ideas you will be writing about. So why is it ideas instead of idea? The reason is because we're writing a 5-paragraph essay, and each subtopic that we address will be 1 paragraph in your paper. So these are 3 main ideas that are in Sonnet 73. And here's another, this is the 2 standards. Write informative or explanatory text to examine, convey complex ideas, concepts, and information. Introduce a topic, organize complex ideas, concepts, and information to make connections and distinctions. So basically, you guys, this is writing about the theme in the poem and supplying the details. And in order to do that, you have to be organized. And the place where organization starts is in your thesis. Okay? So the thesis is the most important part of the paper for organizing your paper and also for organizing the thoughts of your reader. So what we're writing about: describe how William Shakespeare's Sonnet 73 is about death. All right? How do we know it's about death? Because I told you so. Well, that's a good start. Yes, it's because I told you it's about death. Okay, so we did read the poem and we did analyze it. I'll review it in just a minute, and maybe we'll have a clearer idea of how it's about death. Okay, analyze each section of the poem. So this is where you get your juicy details from about the theme of death. And we're looking at the writer's imagery and the metaphors that the writer used. And you will use those images and metaphors to support your reasons. The essay needs to be 5 paragraphs with a minimum of 7 sentences each. You can do it. I see some of you have gone into shock, but I know that you'll be okay. I did it when I was in high school, believe it or not. And if I can do it, you can do it. All right? So let's see. Where are we? I lost my... Okay. All right, here's Sonnet 73, and I want to remind you that it's written in iambic pentameter. What is iambic pentameter? Exactly. It's 5 meters of iambic. So iambic is a unstressed syllable and a stressed syllable. And where do you find out if a syllable is stressed or unstressed? In the dictionary. That's right. Okay, so this is a meter of iambic. And in a sonnet, there are 5 meters. That's a pentameter, 5 meters, pentameter, pentameter, iambic. These are iambic meters. Okay, so we discussed the rhyme scene: abba, abba, kadi, kadi, e, f. More strong and long, which is e, e. Okay, so the place where the meter breaks is in bare, ruined choirs, which is really interesting to the poem because these are stressed syllables, and the writer does this on purpose. Believe it or not, I know you think that poetry, sometimes you may think poetry sitting down and just pouring out your soul, which it's definitely a very good start. And I've seen some amazing poems come just from that. But something like this takes a little bit of art. And these stressed syllables, bare, ruined choirs, are very important to the poem because Shakespeare was a poet, and he's comparing the branches of the trees to pews in a choir, where late the sweet birds sang. So this is a poet who is dying. The birds are leaving, right? The birds represent song. Okay, so now we're going to review and listen to the sonnet. Okay, here we go. There's a little commercial break here. See how fast we can get out of this. This is on YouTube, people. This is the wrong one. Okay, let's go back. Nice music, though. I believe it's this one. This is the one. All right.
Here's to the big game, to the growers of the sod on which it's played, to the makers of steak.
This is the right one.
Sonnet 73 by William Shakespeare. That time of year thou mayest in me behold, when yellow leaves, or none, or few, do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold, bare ruined choirs, where late the sweet birds sang. In me thou seest the twilight of such day as after sunset fadeth in the west, which, by and by, black night doth take away, death's second self, that seals up all in rest. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire that on the ashes of his youth doth lie, as the deathbed whereon it must expire, consumed with that which it was nourished by. This thou perceivest, which makes thy love more strong, to love that well which thou must leave ere long.
So weeping willow tree. Weeping willow. That's funny because if you know, Shakespeare's first name is William, right? I just thought of that. Weeping willow, weeping will. I don't know if the person who made the video has that in mind, but that's an interesting coincidence if not. Okay, so what we're going to do is I annotated the poem here, and these main ideas of each quatrain, right? Sections of the poem are quatrains ending with a couplet. All right. So each quatrain will become the topic sentence for the 3 body paragraphs of your essay. And this couplet will become the topic of your conclusion paragraph. So and in the introduction, we're going to introduce the topic, and we will write the thesis. So if you are organized, it's much easier. Right? So in the first quatrain, it's autumn. The branches are empty except for a few leaves, and the birds are gone. Quatrain 2, your second paragraph, it's twilight, the time of day after sunset, and night closes around everything, which is death's second self that seals up all in rest. Right? This time of his life is like a burnt out fire. Okay? And then we will not be addressing the conclusion today, but he is thanking his patron for appreciating him now before he dies. And if you remember, Shakespeare, there's a lot of theories about who he is writing to in this poem. Thou is a person. And my favorite interpretation is he's writing to the person or the patron who paid him to write poetry and plays. Okay? Okay, so in order to begin our essay, and this is a lot of you have been telling me, I don't know how to start my paper. Okay? You use subject, opinion, and reason. I'm sorry I missed something here. No, I'm not ready for that. Okay, tag. In order to start your paper, we're going to begin with acronym TAG. You're tagging, like you see a tag on a piece of clothing, it describes what it is, right? That's what tag is here. It's used to introduce your topic or describe what you're writing about. You don't want to start your paper by saying Shakespeare's Sonnet 73. We're going to say, oh, it's about death because, right? I read a lot of papers that will start that way. It's about death because. Please don't hand in papers that start that way, okay? Tag, title, author, genre. So the title is exactly Sonnet 73. The author is William Shakespeare. The genre, or the type of literature, is poem. So when you put it all together as a sentence, you would say in the poem, Sonnet 73 by William Shakespeare, the speaker, William Shakespeare, right, tells his patron that he appreciates the attention he has been receiving in his last years of life. Okay? So you see, if you take a methodical approach, if you think about what's being asked of you, and you include the details to introduce your essay, it's pretty easy to write a really a complex sentence and just repeat the information you have to get started. You don't have to think deeply to do that. Okay, now we're writing our thesis. Okay, a good way to write a thesis is to think about the subject you're writing about. Okay, this is the main idea. And then your opinion. This subject is like a hypothesis. What is it that you're focusing on in your paper? How is this about death? Okay? And then your opinion about your subject, and then your 3 reasons. The reason we have 3 reasons in this paper is because we have 3 body paragraphs. If there were 2 body paragraphs, you'd only have 1 reason. Okay, so remember tag. Subject. The speaker is telling his patron that he appreciates the attention he has been receiving in his last years of life. The speaker compares his life to 3 transient times. Okay, that's your opinion about what the speaker is comparing his life to, but it's based on the 3 quatrains. So the first quatrain is about autumn, the second is about sunset, and the third is about a fire that burns out. Remember? We annotated the 3 paragraphs and we wrote that this is what the 3 quatrains are about. Okay? So we're very consistent. Our opinion is about the 3 transient times. The reasons are about the 3 images that Shakespeare uses in his poem. So write your thesis in 1 or 2 sentences. So here we have tag, our introduction, and then our thesis, okay? In the poem Sonnet 73 by William Shakespeare, the speaker tells his patron that he appreciates the attention he has been receiving in his last years of life. The speaker compares his life to 3 transient passing times. Transient means passing. The first quatrain is about autumn, the second is about sunset, and the third is about a fire that burns out. Okay? This is only 2 sentences. Look how amazing those sentences are. So I did require that your paragraphs are 5 to 7 sentences each, and I'll show you later how to develop your introduction to create 5 or 7 sentences, and you'll be amazed that you can actually do this. I know you can. Okay, so that's it. We learned how to write a thesis. Here it is. Your the 3 reasons in your thesis become your subtopics, right? I repeat myself a lot, I know, but I just wanted to show you paragraph 2, 3, and 4. Voila. There is the outline for the body of your essay, and we'll be practicing that over the rest of the week. Okay? Thesis writing. So here we are. How did today's lesson help you with the learning goal? Did you get it? Okay? I want to make sure that you leave here today understanding what it is we did, and I'll give you a chance to practice. We'll work on this together. Without the slides, you will write the introduction and the thesis, okay? So you will have to annotate your poem, do a close read, circle words you don't understand, summarize the main ideas of the 3 quatrains, and write your topic sentences for the outline, come up with a thesis, okay? So here we go. Do you understand better how to convey complex ideas, concepts? I hope so, okay? We'll find out, right, when we try and do it ourselves through organization and analysis. Well, I know I explained it to you. How well you understand it, we will find out at the end, okay? So introduce a topic, organize complex ideas and information to make important connections, right? To connect your theme and the details of the poem and make distinctions. Why are those images in the poem? Thank you so much for your attention. Please take out the poem if you haven't already and paper, and we'll get started.